Sporting touch of hands. Round number one. There's that fast start. And that is the fastest knockout in bare knuckle fighting championship.
K-Bomber, born in the Bronx, raised in Dade. Been in the city since Pit had braids. Bahapanti parties, plata know how to sneak me out. Now it's 7-figure meetings, every day we lead a house. It's game time, the game's mine, you know the vibe. Yo viajado el mundo entero, reppin' 305.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Don't Blink. You already know I got my boy Too Nice in the building. I don't go nowhere without the kids, especially on Don't Blink.
You already know what it is.
Today we got a real special guest, man.
Yes.
I'm gonna cut the introduction short because this dude has got a badass story I want you to tell. His name is Ruden. He's not only a bodybuilder, motivational speaker, has a badass story. And before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to my mother-in-law, Mama Robin. She put me on to you, saw you in People magazine. And she's like, man, you got to speak to this guy. You know what I mean? It's an amazing story. So thank you for being here, my brother.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Thank you both.
Of course. Let's. I like to start from the beginning, man. Let the people know born and raised and how we got to where we're at today, man.
Yeah, man. I was born different. You know.
Yeah.
I was born permanently attractive.
That's awesome. So,
Hell yeah.
You're a great looking guy, bro.
I just wear tight shirts to make me look big. I was born with a physical disability, and my entire life I felt like I was broken. Right. You know, I felt like a monster. And I grew up in a pretty poor area, and everyone made it known that I looked different.
Yeah.
That I didn't fit in, you know?
Where did you grow up?
In Pompano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pompano.
Yeah. And, man, something about being a man in society today and feeling depressed and broken and having to hold that back, trying to pretend like you're good, but you're not.
Yeah.
That was my entire life. I hid my disability for 17 years, you know, up until 3 years ago. And that was the moment when I decided I wanted to be myself and not be that broken, useless, helpless kid.
You hid it in what sense? Like I
didn't have a prosthetic arm.
Oh, okay.
So I just had my residual limb and I put a glove on it.
Yeah.
I actually kept it in my pocket for 15 years.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
I'm talking about like I ran the PE test in middle school with my hand in my pocket.
No shit.
I almost got arrested at Washington, D.C., the monument.
Yeah.
Because they told me to put my hand out of my pocket and I said no.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
So it was that bad.
It was deep. It was deep.
that bad.
Yeah.
I would ask to go to the bathroom if I had my backpack on because my hand was in my pocket through my backpack and I couldn't take my backpack off.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I had days where the backpack would just dangle because I wouldn't take it out. It was that bad. I got my ass beat one time because I didn't take my hand out of my pocket.
Oh, shit.
I would have rather
it's wild.
got hit, you know, instead of protecting myself because that was more important. So that's when we talk about body image issues or anything like that. It's not gender or anything.
Yeah.
I struggled.
Yeah. Damn, that's dope.
No,
I mean, it's dope the fact that you were able to reach that point, and then once you reach that point, which to me is almost like it's the let it rip season. You know what I'm saying? Right now we're in the let it rip season, and you reached the point where you know, perhaps looked at yourself in the mirror and was like, "Yo, this is me, man. I love me, and I'm gonna just whoever don't like it, fuck it, but I'm gonna do me."
That's what it was. You know,
What was that turning point? Yeah.
Man, I wish there was like this Disney moment of like it happened, you know, but there was a few points. I didn't look in the mirror. My whole life was about hiding my arm. So if I was on a date with a girl, I would turn a certain way. I would sit on a certain side. I planned everything in my head.
Yeah.
I'd pretend like there was no issues, but like I had to sit on a certain side. I had to turn a certain way when I opened a door. Yeah, I had to plan what kind of door it was, if it was a push or pull, to know what my move was. I was playing chess, you know, and it was that bad, you know. So for me, I met a kid named David. He was 11 years old. He had cerebral palsy. Couldn't really walk. Couldn't really talk.
And this is 3 years ago when you did
this was the start. This was when I was 19. I started getting to like bad stuff like drugs, alcohol.
Right.
Trying to run away from my problems.
Of course.
You know? The problem I was trying to run away from was myself, to be honest. And I met this kid, and I fell in love with this kid, man. His mom hired me to work with him with fitness and stuff. I was like, I'm not a guru, but
have you ever been into fitness? Were you into fitness?
I started getting into it about 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I was like, man, I want
around that same time.
I was like, I want abs, you know?
Yeah.
Like, abs get girls. I think that's what I want. I learned that wasn't actually what I wanted. I wanted confidence in myself. You know? I wanted to see myself in the mirror and be like, I respect you. And I chased respect for a long time.
Yeah.
But you can never get respect if you don't give it to yourself.
Absolutely.
So this kid kind of showed me everything. You know, he couldn't walk or talk, but I would hold him and he would kick a ball and he would have so much fun. You know, like we'd work out, he'd fall, he'd get back up. And one day he came home and he was like, oh, these kids at school made fun of me. And I was like, show me where they're at, I'll kill them. Like, you know, like it's, and before I could even finish my death threat, he was like, it's okay. They don't define me, and just went on. And I just looked at this kid. I'm like, how did this kid learn something that took me so long?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he could barely walk, barely talk, but after working with him for like 6 months, he ran on the beach for the first time. And I was like, all right, I'm on to something. Maybe it's not the fitness. Maybe it's not the abs or the muscles. Maybe it's like the way you think.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot. And from that moment, I started getting into powerlifting. I was like, I want to lift heavy weight. So I started lifting 135 pounds and have a residual limb. I'm like hooking it sideways, lifting sideways and stuff. And I got to 135. I'm like, there's no way I could go heavier. I found a way. I got to 225.
Shit.
I was like, man, there's no way. Then 315, then 405, then 495, then 585, then 675 in front of 20,000 people breaking a world record.
Holy shit.
What? Damn.
Every time I told myself I couldn't do it, I said, but maybe. You know, I just started asking questions instead of saying, this is the glass ceiling of what I can reach. I was like, maybe there's another option. And it took me a long time to start asking those questions.
Damn, and answering them too, because you've been kicking ass, bro.
Absolutely,
Fuck yeah.
absolutely. And where was that where you hit that mark where you're like, yo, no, I'm unstoppable. Like this shit's not gonna faze me anymore.
I got tired of feeling broken, man.
Yeah.
I got tired of thinking like.
And you said, what was that? Like 3 years ago was when like, you were like.
I set a weird goal for myself. Like I had broken a world record. I started speaking professionally, like speaking in front of thousands of people, but I was still hiding my hand in front of all these people, you know? People would be like, oh, I appreciate the message, but like, what? I was like, shh, you're good.
Yeah.
You know? I had so much fake confidence that no one would dare ask me what I was struggling with, you know?
Yeah.
And you're lifting 600 and something pounds. We were like, all right, don't fuck with this guy.
I don't have the quickest knockout, but I at least look strong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I said if I ever got a prosthetic arm, I would take my glove off. And at the time, my ex-girlfriend, she didn't even see my hand. 3 years into our relationship.
Get the fuck out of here.
What?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn, you were real good at hiding that shit then.
I'm a monster.
Yeah. you know my nickname in fighting is the monster too, by the way.
Hey.
Real monster, dude.
I went from feeling like a monster to being a monster.
That's
and
awesome.
The monster is now giving value and impact. But it took that perspective shift to be like, okay, if I get this prosthetic arm, I'll stop hiding. You know? It's really hard to get a prosthetic arm. It's $150,000.
Yeah.
It's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And
that shit looks like it's out of a movie.
It is, it's wild, bro.
Yeah.
And the approval process is impossible in the United States. To go through this, it's a nightmare. I ended up getting it though. And I'm like, I have to be a man of my word. I can't go back on what I said. So I said, I'm just going to make a quick YouTube video. I'm going to take my glove off and show the world. Like, obviously I'm disabled, you know, but for me, that was like meaningful. I put that video out there. I was like, man, I feel good.
That's huge.
I woke up, Washington Post posted my story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Reddit threw it through the roof. I was top trending on YouTube. 5 million views later. I'm like, damn.
When was this?
This was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
I jumped into the deep end, you know, by accident.
Amazing.
And then I got a call from a dude, you know, named The Rock. And
that's awesome.
From there, I did a talk in Uganda in Africa for kids with diabetes. And I came back and my life just like started going because it was the first time I started being myself. And the first time I stopped being a carbon copy of what I thought everyone else wanted me to be.
Damn, the way you said The Rock. The Rock? The Rock?
Yeah.
Oh,
you smell
it.
it. That's fucking amazing, dog.
Damn.
That's great. That's just, you know what I mean? That's awesome for our listeners to show like, yo, just confidence and just like,
unapologetically yourself. And like for me, I wanted to be what I thought everyone wanted me to be.
Yeah.
Right.
But like you always suck at being someone else and you always be the best at being yourself because no one can take that position from you, you know? And once I decided that, I felt like, oh, everything fell into place. Like, oh, it's because I stopped telling myself who I had to be and started telling myself, just be you.
Just be you, bro.
Unapologetically you. And some people are like, oh, that's so easy. That's because that thing you're still hiding, you're ignoring it.
Yeah, they still fighting their own little vibes.
Everything I tell someone, what's that thing you're hiding that you're struggling with right now? You're going to push it under the rug and you're going to tell me the other things you feel comfortable about.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to talk about that one thing that you know is killing you.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and possibly because of, you know, society and the way the world is and how judgmental everybody is and da. So I mean, yo, I was dealing with some vibes, you know, like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because I do
why
music.
He has half a beard, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a sign of fuck.
He didn't even know that. He saw he got a little half. I got a little half. He was like, yo, we in it together, bro. I got it right here, man. You got it right there. But I do music, right? So in the entertainment business, you the same vibe. You gotta be a certain way, sound a certain way, make music a certain way. And then I just felt like I lost the passion and the love of just the art of being able to put these words together and flow on a beat or whatnot. And then I reached that moment, and then a lot of things changed. Friends changed, situations changed. My daily patterns change and all that stuff. And this was that. Yo, if you got something, if you don't like it, who cares?
That's it. It's funny. You said, you're in the entertainment industry and you have to be a certain way, and then art and have to be don't go together.
Yeah,
there's no such thing as should be. There's the boxes that are created are not created for people who are creative. They're not.
Yeah.
You can't force your creativity, your skill set, your individuality into a box created by society for someone that's not made for you.
Yep.
And you feel like you're dying. You're becoming a replica of what society wants you to be. But I'm going to be honest. The way you think of me, the way you think of me, the way you think of me is not my responsibility.
Yep. Straight up.
Not.
No, straight up.
I'm sorry if you feel a certain way, but that's not my responsibility to manage. That's on you.
That's right. Absolutely. And that's a great way to think, not only for us, but everybody out there.
Everybody out there that's watching, straight up, man.
Don't give a shit and don't live by other people's standards. Live by your own and excel. Absolutely. And now I see amazing opportunities have arisen. You got a book.
Just launched that book. It released May 4th, and it took me about a year.
May the 4th be with you.
Oh, I got that. I was like, man, I wish I knew Star Wars more. Everyone was saying that. I'm like, why are you risking?
Yeah. It's a huge day for Star Wars fans.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like, it took about a year to write. It took about 30.
And the book is about your life and how we got to this point.
A little bit of my life, but it's more about self-communication, because we talk about, as a man in society, we have to be masculine. We have to be. I hate that word, have to be.
Yeah.
I hate the should be, just like your art, like the way you fight. Right. Everyone has individuality. So when you tell someone they have to be a certain way, I just think it's full of shit, because how can you have individuality? There's no universal fix to an individual problem.
Right.
So for me, everyone's like, communication is key. No, that's step 2.
Yeah, and I can't
self communication is key.
Right.
Yep.
You want everyone to communicate with you better, but you're not willing to communicate with yourself better. You're not giving yourself the shit you need every morning. You're pretending like you don't have problems, but you do. You have a car, you're going to service it. Why don't you service your life?
Right. And I can't live up to your opinion of me. You know what I mean?
You can't. But what's your opinion of you?
Right. Exactly.
Your opinion of you matters.
Exactly.
The most.
Yeah.
Sure.
And if you look in the mirror and you think I'm not as good, or any of this stuff, you don't have to be rah. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not a positivity hippie. I wouldn't stand in a burning building and chant positive affirmations. I'd get the fuck out. I'm a cynical realist in the sense of, like, what can I do to not make this worse?
Yep.
What decision am I going to make that I'm going to be proud of looking back? Those are the questions I ask myself, because I'm like, at the end of the day, no one's going to help me. No one did help me. I just got off a call on the way here. They're like talking about success and my success. I'm like, listen, I don't have a sexy form of success. I won by default. I started the race. Everyone else did too, and they were way ahead of me. They just fucking quit.
Yeah.
I won by default. There's nothing sexy about that. I just kept going. And that's usually what works. We hear all these stories about hustle, grind, kill on social media now. Like, it's all this glamorized hustling. I'm like, man, if you get hustled, you got fucked over.
Right.
Straight up.
Maybe you don't need to hustle. Maybe you just need to work.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Put your head down and just get
so
to
where can the people find a book though?
It's on Amazon. It's a bestseller on Barnes and Noble right now, which is cool.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I see this stuff on the table, talking in microphones. I've done this for a few years, like speaking professionally, and been on a TV show with The Rock and all that. But like, the biggest moment for me was being able to go into Walmart and not hide my hand.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I see me on billboards and stuff. I see me like work with brands like Nike and Tommy Hilfiger. But now, like, to be able to have a conversation about this and hope that I can be the person I never had growing up, and that someone out here is listening and hears that perspective and like, maybe you don't have to be on that edge. Maybe I don't have to take that step. Maybe I can step back and say, I could do something else. That's what I do this for.
And that's huge. That's huge, and that's amazing. You do that, and I'm glad that thank you for bringing us the books, because I'm a huge. I collect books and I read books on a daily basis. So this is dope. I can't.
It's an easy read too. You could read that in 2 hours, and you could open up any page. I want it to be to the point where if you needed something today, you open any page, you'll get something.
That's awesome.
That's
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. And man, that's what we try to do here. Like, I'm a dude, in the last 5 years, I've changed my life. I'm a dude who came off the streets, been in trouble my whole life. Got kicked out of school, juvenile detention center, went to prison as a young man. I'm 40 years old right now. At 35, I had this come to God moment. I had this awakening epiphany where the first time in my life I put 10 years on my life that day. I was like, man, at 45, am I still gonna be doing the same shit? And I got to my knees, I cried, and I changed my life around, man. And here I am. I got the fastest knockout in combat sports history. I'm fighting for a world title, and at the end of this month, life has really changed. And what I see are similarities is that I just put my mind to it, and I said, that's it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna work hard. It's dedication, consistency, grind, and just go after it. You know what I mean? like I tell everybody, I'm not special. Anybody could do what I've done. You just gotta. Is every day gonna be easy? No. Are you gonna wake up every day saying, "Oh, fucking sun shines and rainbows"? No, absolutely not. You know what I mean? So those are the days you just gotta get through. And then when you get through that day and you get to your house or whatever it is, you lay down at night and be like, it really wasn't that bad.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It's funny. If you go through this episode, I love it. I'm going to go through specifically because you both said exactly what I said. To have that change that you had, that I had, we stopped telling ourselves things and we started asking ourselves things. Is this how life is going to be?
Right. Yeah, straight up.
Do I want this 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Am I on the track that I want to see myself in? Is my future self this? And we decided it wasn't, so we made a change. And ultimately, it was never up to anyone else. It was up to us.
Exactly.
And you said, it's not going to be easy. It never is. You know, people are like, easier said than done. Well, guess what? Better done than said.
Right.
Yeah.
Get it done anyways. You know, like, sorry. Like, what does that serve you? Like, what? You act like I'm trying to take your excuses from you. I promise you I don't need
That's
them,
one thing about people, the blaming game. Everybody wants to blame somebody.
What does blame do?
No,
even if you found out whose fault it is, what's it going to do for you?
Exactly.
Now it's your fault. Now what?
Yeah.
And guess what? You have the exact same story. You have the exact same story as me.
Yeah.
You don't have this arm, but I'll tell you this. You went through some shit. You got over some shit, and there's more shit coming.
Right.
Everyone has the same story. It's about how you tell it, how you live it, and how you decide to narrate it moving forward. For me, I'm just not that broken kid anymore. You don't have to be that troubled kid anymore. You don't have to be that same artist anymore.
Yeah.
You can be what you want to be in the sense of like, you can't fly, but you can live.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's been the manifestation of everything that's been going on. And everyone that's came on this podcast has had that moment. And the way we tap into that moment, we bring it closer. I'm pretty sure to some people it's 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Or
but
it's in the future still. People
they haven't even reached it yet. But at least with the guests on our podcast, we mentioned like 2020.
Yeah.
We mentioned like the pandemic and how, how did you make it through those moments? Oof. So, I mean.
Oof. I like that. Tell us.
Let's so people, I'm gonna like fake accolade drop real quick. So I've modeled for Nike and Tommy Hilfiger.
That's dope.
Helping to design shoes or clothing for people with disabilities. Being on a TV show with The Rock, of the 100,000 people who applied, I didn't apply. They picked me. They picked 100 guys to compete for a spot, 30 guys to actually be on a show.
Was that Titan?
Titan Games.
Okay, we'll get into that. All right, cool.
2 to be on the billboards, and I was on the billboards. So I've done crazy shit with Good Morning America, People Magazine, all this stuff, broken world records. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Two world record holders.
You know what I mean?
But let's talk about the reality of this. I have failed more times than you could ever imagine.
Absolutely.
I lost $30,000 on an app I tried to create. The designer left. If I could find him, I'd still jock kick him in the throat. I moved out for a business in California. It failed. Had to come back, and pretty much it was embarrassment to me. I've tried so many jobs. I worked at an arts and crafts store. I stole stuff, but I did a lot of bad stuff. And everyone sees that top level of success. Even a few years ago, when I was in the social media I tried to apply for a job at Vitamin Shop because I quit. And I'm thankful that the guy said no, because he saw my resume, saw what I was doing, and he said, I can't do this to you.
Yeah, you're better than this.
So all those moments, you see the tip of the iceberg with these highlight reels on Instagram and this. Like, I see it, and I still think, like, I see that guy, and I'm like, I know the struggle that still happened. I lost $60,000 worth of contracts at the beginning of COVID, immediately, like that.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be my biggest year. And I told myself the story of, like, all this work, and now you have nothing. And it was the story I told myself of you have nothing, because my value never left. The opportunities might have, but opportunities keep coming.
They keep coming if you keep going.
I had to pivot, and most people did. And I'm like, why am I going to feel special? Why do I feel like COVID just happened to me?
Right.
COVID didn't happen to me. It happened to us as people.
Yeah.
And we all had to pivot in some way. Some people kept their jobs, some people didn't.
Absolutely.
That's some people get in car accidents, some people don't. Like,
Adapt
things
or
happen,
die. Yeah, adapt or die. Yeah, absolutely. We said the same thing. I use the same exact analogy. We had to pivot and find direction and
keep it going.
And keep it going for sure. It's like we said right before the show started. It's that everybody thinks it's an overnight success, but it took 10, 20 years. You know what I mean? In the making.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I used to get in trouble in school for talking, and now I get paid a lot of money for it.
Yeah. Don't flip it.
I got in trouble my whole life for fighting.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, we all used to make noise, and now we get paid to make noise.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I do a talk. It's called Turning My Health Issues into Wealth Issues.
Nice.
And it's not about money, because the money comes, but money comes after impact and value. For me, wealth is quality of life.
Yeah.
And for so long, I didn't have that. For so long, I see so many of my friends who didn't have that, And now I realize like we all have that opportunity for quality of life, not in money. You can, I guess, earn more money if you want to, but in quality of life and choosing your perspective and choosing to change the way you think, that if the way you think is making you live a worse life, it's not that easy, but it is simple.
Change the way you fucking
Stop thinking in a way that predicts your failure. That's right. That's what it is. You know, it takes practice. Obviously, you're not good at anything. You were never the best fighter in the world in the beginning. I'm sure you lost some fights. With you, when you started doing music, like, you've gotten better. Same thing with me speaking. Takes practice. And if you practice being a shitty person, you're going to get damn good at it.
For sure. And then it's going to be hard to even get out of that shit once you've been a shitty person for a long time. A shitty ass person.
And if you could all you could think is shitty thoughts, you're going to manifest shitty shit.
That's it.
Shit.
That's what it is, man. No shitty shit here.
No shitty shit. Hey, we're about to drop a shirt. No shitty shit here.
Hey, man, tell us about how'd you get into I can't wait to. Right now I'm dieting. You know what dieting is about.
I just did my show, so I'm like, I'm done.
I know. By the way, when you get a second, we need to show this dude this guy looks like The Rock, bro.
Yeah.
I saw you have some protein bites. I can't wait to try them. I can't try them now because I got to tighten up on mine.
I got you when we're done.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're like me, but just looking at food, I gained 10 pounds. You know what I mean? And
I couldn't even have it in the house. Like I have no control either. I'm like, all or none.
I fucking daydream about food, bro.
Yeah, those food Instagrams, I was like scrolling through.
You told me you got a tattoo of a donut.
I have a donut tattoo on my leg, bro.
I love that.
I'm known as the donut guy because I have type 1 diabetes too, by the way.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I have an autoimmune disease that's a minute by minute condition. You know, so but my whole thing is breaking the stigmas of like who you're supposed to be. People think diabetes, oh, you can't eat certain foods. No. It's like you have an automatic car, I have a manual car. I just have to take my insulin on the outside. So we can eat whatever we want as long as there's no poison in it.
I'm a cookie monster. I got to get a cookie tattoo, babe. Cookie.
I respect it, man.
Yeah, man. So tell us about energy, the energy bites. How'd you get into that?
That's the craziest story, dude. I've always been a service-based dude. I've always personal training, got my degree in exercise science, and then speaking is what I want to do for the rest of my life is speaking. I love speaking. But I've never had a product, you know? Yeah. And I met a dude while I was speaking. He's a chef, also type 1 diabetic. And we did this talk together at this nonprofit event. And he said, I got this product. I'd love for you to try it. I tried it, gave him some advice. He's like, bro, how do I hire you? I'm like, hire me to be a consultant. Consulted for him. He's like, I need this, this, and this. I gave him my fee. He's like, bro, I'm just going to bring you on as the marketing director. I'm like, cool. That's what's up. A few months after that, he's like, bro, I just need you to change the whole company. I need you to take ownership of this, be the chief marketing officer. You have equity in the company, and now you're co-founder of this new rebrand. And now we're at 2 years after that.
Damn,
you never know, guys. Like you honestly never know. I never expected to do that, but I just rolled with the opportunity. If I told myself the life I was supposed to live, I'd be a personal trainer, or I was into dance. I did a bunch of random stuff. But if I told myself what I was supposed to do, I would have been within the guidelines of a life that was limiting my potential.
Absolutely.
Now with this protein bar, we grew over 4,000% because of the pandemic.
That's awesome.
We're launching like 3 new bars, and like we're doing so well. And I love what we're doing for the community. It actually tastes good. And that's just one more step.
Where can we find those?
It's online in a lot of GNCs, JW Marriott.
I know I've seen them for sure.
Yeah. They're all over the place now. Like we've expanded it all across the country. So we're trying to get into like a big retailer like Whole Foods or something coming soon.
Oh, yeah. So was that one of the projects that manifested through the pandemic year?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's our biggest growth. Like I had started the year before, but our biggest growth was because of the pandemic. So when my other business dropped, I pivoted to this one because I saw that there was an opportunity.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's
Damn,
awesome.
all right,
That's
cool.
awesome.
Hell
No,
yeah.
it's amazing,
So the pandemic was good for you.
Yeah. No,
it was a pandemic getting that money.
I like that. I might steal that. To be honest, the pandemic wasn't good or bad. It just existed, and it's what you told yourself about it, you know? And I told myself it was bad until I found out it was good, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's just the pandemic, and it's us seasoning it with something that we want to tell ourselves.
Absolutely.
You
know? The pandemic itself was not good for anybody, but the time during what happened last year in 2020, it was a blessing for me. I had the best year of my life. One of the most amazing things happened. I broke the record last year. And just great things have been happening after that. And it's like you said, like if you asked me to write down the best case scenario of anything that's been happening to me, it couldn't have been better of what just happened the way it did, by me putting my head down, working, being consistent, not worrying about anything else, and making things happen.
I want to point that out. You said you had the best year ever, but you made the best year ever because it didn't happen to you. It happened because of you.
Right.
Yeah.
You knocked that dude out. You did those things. It's not like, oh, life happened to be good for me. No, I happen to be good for life. Like I happen to do the right things.
Damn, I happened to be
never stopped
But that's
working.
the truth though, because we always say like I'm blaming, like, oh, life is really hard for me. Like, no, you're making it harder by the way you're thinking or what you're doing. Oh, it's not my fault that I didn't say fault. I said responsibility. You have a responsibility, not just a responsibility, but a response ability, the ability to respond to whatever the fuck happens to you in life. You're choosing that response, whether you think you are or not. And if you don't decide to do something, indecision is still a decision. Sorry.
That's awesome.
Whoa,
That's awesome.
I speak in like fortune cookies.
No,
I
I
gems in
love
this
it.
podcast.
I feel like that little Snapple, like on the
That's awesome.
no, hell yeah.
But, so,
and we listening, and I'm absorbing every single word and everything you're saying, man, because it's good.
For sure.
Good.
Don't get me wrong though. I'm still a human. I still curse at people in traffic. Like, I
No,
still-
for sure.
you
Me
know,
too.
I still make my
sure.
mistakes, but like for
I
me,
stole
it's
something yesterday.
how can we get? Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, I hope it was good. For real though, like how do you get like 1% better every day? How what can you do to at least get a little bit better for the people around you, the people who love you or the life you want to live? And if you're not living up to where you want to go, you're just kind of staying stagnant. And I don't want that anymore.
Absolutely not. Neither do I. And I try every day at least to be 1% better. Whether
Yep.
it's and I try it on every aspect of my life. You know what I mean? From being a boyfriend to being a father to being an athlete to being here with you. You know what I mean? I try to make every day of my life, every aspect that I can, 1% better. Sometimes in certain aspects, like you said, I fall 2% back.
It happens. It happens. That's life.
But I'm still exactly. I don't. What I don't do is get hard on myself. Okay, so 100,000 people applied for the Titan Games.
Yep.
You never even applied.
Nope.
They reached out to you. Mm-hmm. That's dope.
And I thought it was fake. I almost didn't write him back. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they first reached out to me, it was late at night because LA, the time difference, you know. Some dude was like, hey, we want to do like a little casting thing. And it's like, they want to hop on Skype. It's 11 at night. I'm like, bro, I'm not taking no clothes off. Like, this is not, I don't know what kind of.
Yeah, if you want that, go to my OnlyFans.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no like black couch type thing. Like, I'm not messing around with this. But I ended up hopping on there and like, it turned out it was legit. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, I'm a power lifter. I just lift heavy weight. I don't consider myself an athlete like that. And they're like, we want to fly you out to LA. It's a 12-hour combine all day. You're going to test every skill, anything you have. I went out there. I'm like, bro, these people are monsters. You know,
Yeah,
like 100, 200 different guys killing it. I'm like, all right, I did it. And I was like, that was cool opportunity, but I'm not going to get that. That's fine. I'm at the gym and I get that call and I'm just like, excuse me? They're like, yeah, we picked 30 guys and we want you to be on the show. I'm like, damn,
hell
like,
yeah.
it's crazy.
Where was it filmed?
It was in LA.
It was in LA. How long were you out there for?
I was out there for about like 9 days.
Okay. Damn, they filmed it in 9 days?
I lost my first episode,
Okay,
but
okay.
they went for like another, I think 5 days.
Okay.
They did it really quick.
Oh shit.
And
Yeah, they're trying to put that thing in a can.
it was crazy, bro. Like I was the only one that got to talk after I had lost.
Yeah.
And then The Rock came down and like hugged me and stuff. And like he posted me on his
Damn.
account and that like blew up.
That's
And so many hundreds of people reached out to me saying like, oh my god,
Did he give you the?
I don't know. I think he was tearing up a little bit. So like, yeah, I'll just throw out there like The Rock is not as big as you think he is, and I'll definitely challenge him to a deadlift. Like, but we'll just throw that out.
Wait,
there.
was that a don't blink moment right there? Was
throw
that
that
a
out
don't
there.
blink moment right there?
Don't blink call out.
Oh,
We'll just
man.
throw that out there. But,
Let's go.
Yeah, he was an incredible dude. To be honest, I
Yeah,
always get
hell
scared
yeah.
of meeting like famous people. He was such a genuine dude. And after we did the show, obviously it takes time to air. And a friend of mine sent me a picture. She's like, "Why are you on a billboard?" I'm like, "Excuse me." I was on the billboards, the buses. I was one of the
Sick.
2 guys that were.
You were
like,
the face for the
everything.
Titan Games.
If you Google Titan Games right now, you'll see me in the back. Like,
Like with the
So,
whoop-dee.
it was crazy, man. Like, and that was syndicated across like Fox Asia, like all across the world, and that was just wild, man. It was-
And how does it feel to get the message, the DMs and the comments on your posts,
And
like the
show 'em.
motivational stuff, like yo, you inspire me so much.
Right.
Get that?
I'll share a quick story. So I was about to speak after that, and a dad came up to me at an event, and he's like, "My son was struggling with type 1 diabetes, and he wants to commit suicide." And imagine hearing that before you're about to step on stage. You know, like how do you? There's no proper way.
Good luck, by the way.
Yeah. I'm just like, damn. So like the whole time I'm talking, I'm like, I see the kid, and like I know what not to do. Not to treat him like he's broken. Not to treat him like he's patient number 47. Or treat him like who he is. I'm not gonna say his name, but. Ended up speaking to him after and just had lunch with him, talked with him, didn't talk about it at all. Just asked him questions like we talk about, asking the right questions. I was worried for a while after that, you know, and a year later he sent me a video and I saw it was blurred out on Instagram. I'm like, oh, fuck, what is this? You know, he's doing push-ups. And he's like, I'm going to be just like you. I started volunteering at a camp. Now I'm doing leadership. I'm helping other people around me.
God bless.
Damn.
That's awesome.
And like, I get chills now thinking about it. Cause I'm like,
awesome.
when you talk about those messages, that matters so much more than this.
No, for
You know,
sure.
that the better than the show. for someone to be on a ledge that I used to be on, you know, and to see them take that step back, not forward, you know, like that means the world to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Hell
God
yeah,
bless,
hell
man.
yeah.
That's amazing, brother.
That's an amazing story. And then on the flip side, on the same, in my field, I get it too. You know what I'm saying? Like people are, you know, they DM, they're like, yo, I've known you for so long. You're still going. Like you keep me going. Like when you post something positive and da da da, and I see you still doing your thing.
He has a movement called Positive Vibes Only, so he's
love
always
it.
Oh, yeah,
it's great. And with this show, man, it's like you know, it's two people that again, like you know, we all have that. We've had that moment that you could have given up. We didn't. We changed it. We changed our mentality, and we just moved forward. So everybody, we got a good response from the show. A lot of great guests that everybody's on that positive attitude, man, and we try to just show it. Like again, we're not special. We're not more special than we're the same as you guys are. Just take that step, and we're willing to take that step with you, help you out in anything you want. You know, ask me a question, and I'll answer it, no problem.
Let me be honest. How long you been doing music?
Man, like 20 years almost.
How long you been fighting?
Fighting professionally 5 years. I've been in the game, you know, as an amateur and all that since I was a kid. But professionally in the game, getting me paid and really focused on this for the last 5 years.
That's the problem.
4.5.
That's
Yeah, and then technically, if you want me to get technical, like he just got technical, then I mean, I've been in the entertainment business for about that long. Because at first I started like as a hype man, then like a backup dancer, and then so like musically as like Too Nice, I would say probably like 8 years.
So let's talk about that.
All right.
People will come to you on their day one and they see this. I've been speaking for 5 years, you know, and to go from like being able to speak, not get paid, to getting paid like a good amount of money, there's time involved. So when people see like you're such an amazing fighter, such an amazing artist, or you're a good speaker, they're like, how do I get like you now?
Yeah.
How do I get to you now? How do I ride the elevator to success without taking the stairs, so to speak, you know? And you can't compare like where we are or where people above us are with where we are, because where we are in our journey or like our process is different. So people get upset, and I used to get upset all the time. I'd see people I want to be like, and I'm like, I would get mad or jealous, you know? I'm like, I want to be like that. I want to be there. I want to hang out at the finish line without running the race.
Yeah.
Everyone does that, you know, and you got to catch yourself, because when you ask for advice to get better, not to be jealous, not to have envy for someone who's earned it. You've earned it. You've earned it. I've earned it. You know,
We put in the time.
that's it.
Yeah.
You put in the time, and it sucks. You can't outdo time.
Yeah.
You have to work, and you might hit the jackpot. You might secure the bag, so to speak, earlier. Or not. You know, for me, I felt like I had to drag my shit. I did a whole year and a half of not charging anything, not making any money, burn through all my savings, you know. Maybe I did it the wrong way, maybe. But I did it in my way, on my process, on my journey, and made it to where I'm at now and where I'm going to make it, you know. So
for sure.
Everyone's journey is a little bit different, but
Absolutely. And I actually went through that too, because coming off the street, I know I was always in a hurry for everything. Then I get into this professional life, you know what I mean? And I was, you know, asking certain friends that film things and things that I felt could help me at the moment. Like, yo, you know, hey, can you help me out? And everybody's like, yeah, I got you, but hold on, I'm busy. And one thing about me was like I was never mad at people for putting me off, you know what I mean? But I didn't understand it. Now, years later, those guys that I was calling are calling me, hey, I want to work with you. Why? Because they see me put in the work. They see me. I respected the hustle. I stuck to it. And now I you know, I appreciate that more. And I see, I have that eye for people who put in the work, who really have the dedication, the consistency that you need to be to, you know, where you want to get.
yeah. I mean, I just posted something on Twitter. So Twitter is like where my quotes go to die. I just love that.
The fortune cookies.
But for real, like I said, you know, the people who couldn't see your value can no longer afford my cost.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like a lot of times in the beginning, when you guys first started, I'm sure, you know, you wanted an opportunity from someone who was higher up you, and you're like, hey, can I get that, you know? Yeah. And I've done that so many times for those same people who denied me. You know, they ended up coming back to me for help.
Yeah.
And as much as I want to be petty, I'll always help.
No,
for sure.
Because it's not, there's no model of scarcity when it comes to success. It's not like if you're success, I'm going to be less successful. Right. What does that say about me if I lose my value because you went up?
Right.
You know, I see that all the time now. People are like, oh, I don't want to tell them my idea. Why? Well, they might take it. I'm like, well, an idea, that saying is 10% idea, 90% execution. Most people don't execute.
Exactly.
You know, and if they do, they're not going to do it like you, because you're the only one who can do it like you. Right. So we get all this like weird fear about other people being successful. And I used to feel that so much, and now I'm like, Imagine seeing someone successful and you're like, damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see people around me get successful, but you know, I was like, but I was on the same thing like you said. Like I was always in a hurry, like, you know, coming up again, like off the street thing. People would get like, okay, this guy got a Benz, you know, like damn, you know what I mean? What's taking me so long to get one? Or somebody got a house, damn, what's taking me so long to get one? And then finally, you know, once I grew out of that dumb mentality, I figured out like, yo, everybody has their time for everything. You know what I mean? And it wasn't my time because I wasn't in the right mind frame. Now I am, and everything is happening for me at the right time, the when it's supposed to. And it's, you know, it's awesome the way everything's happened.
For sure.
When you get your mind right.
Yeah, my mama used to say that todo tiene su tiempo, William. Todo tiene su tiempo.
Everything got his time.
Everything got his time, and I was like, I didn't get it, but now we got it.
You tend to connect the dots looking back, you know?
Yeah, of course. Hindsight is 2020.
When you first get told all this stuff, you're like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, hurry up.
You learn it. And the best way to learn it is to go through it.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like a lot of people didn't go through enough pain to make the changes that they need. A lot of people are just in this purgatory of like, it's not bad enough to change, but it's not good enough to where I want to be, so I'm just going to cruise.
In that box.
Yeah, people don't make changes there because it's not uncomfortable enough. Right. You know?
Right. I love being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. That's me. That's me. It's always been.
It's not about.
And now more than ever.
Yeah, it's not about like escaping your comfort zone. It's just expanding it.
Exactly.
Yeah, hell
more
yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
You know,
And
in
wanting
uncomfortable situations that used to make. Everything used to make me uncomfortable. People looking at me, right? I'd see this, I'm like, why are you guys looking at me? I would hide my arm, you know, like, and now I lead with it. You know, I was offered an opportunity to get a skin colored, you know, arm, and I didn't want that. I wanted to look different. I wanted it to stand out.
The energy logo on that thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was tempted. So
that's another milli. Cut a check.
Exactly. That's a sponsorship billboard opportunity.
So I'm going.
Yeah.
Hey,
so Chris, what do you got? What do you got next, man? Any competitions coming up? I heard you told me you just got over one. You just did one.
So I had
one.
I had like a 10-year goal of doing a bodybuilding competition. One, because I've always saw magazines like people, which is crazy. I saw people like that on a cover, and I was like, man, I would love to look like that. And I was told I couldn't because, you know, bodybuilding, you have to be symmetrical. I'm not symmetrical, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
I accepted that for a long time until I started not to, and I was like, maybe. I started asking those questions. Maybe I can find a way. 10 years I had this goal of wanting to do a competition. Didn't know what, maybe bodybuilding. And I always put it off. Not good enough, not big enough, not strong enough. You know, did powerlifting, did that. That was cool. I didn't have to take my shirt off. I didn't have to be judged.
Right.
I was still judging myself. I finally committed to doing a bodybuilding show. I did classic physique and men's physique.
That's dope.
And not disabled people, you know, just I'm the only disabled one there.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect anything. Expectations lead to disappointment. I didn't want that. I won.
That's
hell yeah, bro.
Like,
Hell yeah.
I won, and I was like, got invited to nationals and stuff, and like now I might do nationals like later this year.
Now might be, bro. You
Yeah,
will.
I
You
mean,
will
be.
be.
You in
The
there.
good thing is like I did that, and like it's not about the medal for me. If I wanted the medal, I'd go buy it myself. It's $5, you know.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
it's not about the medal for me. It was for me showing myself that I could. Like
Right.
that, it's proving my former self wrong.
And let me tell you, you know what you're doing for millions of people out there watching you, brother, just giving them that motivation. And what's funny about you saying that is my girl was a pro IFBB.
Yeah.
She traveled the world doing IFBB. And she says that how incredible it is what you're doing because of the symmetrical stuff and how they judge people and stuff. So
I mean, I'm judged on what I literally don't have, and I still found a way to position myself, and that's what it's positioning with everyone. You know, everyone, like you said, you're not special. I'm not special.
Yeah.
I'm different. You're different. It would be weird if everyone in this room looked the exact same.
Yeah,
that would be weird.
Yeah,
but when we're different, we think that's weird for some reason. You know, like I just took my difference. I'm like, all right, how can I make this not work against
what
me?
was the word our Laz was saying?
No,
bro?
you know what, Platano, our boy Platano, he left, but he wore a shirt yesterday. It said 3% of the people work for the 90% of the people that don't quit.
That never gave up.
That never
That's
gave
a
up.
history maker shirt.
Yeah, it's true though.
Or no, what is it? No, 97% of the other way around. 97% of people work for the 3% of people that never gave up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's crazy.
100% in total.
That's what I feel like. You know, for me, I was like, what else can I do? I did that competition. You know, I used to do MMA and jiu-jitsu, and I might do it again. And maybe you know, but right now, business is everything.
With that fucking arm, you'll crush somebody.
This, I'm like, I take that off because people in the movies think like it looks so cool. It doesn't function like that. You know, it's not like dexterity. You can't do all this stuff. But it's coming up, and like I eventually want to help like people create apparatuses for working out and stuff. Because in the amputee disability community, people don't work out because they think they can't. Yeah. Bro, I'm a one-handed guy living in a two-handed world.
Yeah.
You know, you go to a gym and it's all the same machines made for normal people. Right. You know, so you think about disability is the largest minority in the world. 1 in 4 people have a disability. We don't care what you look like. We don't care your background, your socioeconomic status, your religion, if you're gay, straight, doesn't matter.
Right.
Unfortunately, the disabled community accepts everyone. So we need support too. We need to make sure that people that have limb differences or cognitive disabilities, they didn't ask for this stuff.
And like you said at the beginning of the show, it's expensive as hell, man.
It's super expensive. And trying to get approval and stuff, that's a whole nother accessibility, God forbid, a lower socioeconomic community, trying to get something like this for inner city youth would be impossible. Impossible. The hoops I had to jump through to try and get this, the accessibility drives me crazy. And certain communities don't have access to this technology that people tout. So that's another one of my missions. I speak on overcoming adversity, but I also speak on diversity and inclusion, accessibility for people who have lives that they never asked for. They need a voice. And I feel like I want to be that voice for the voiceless,
No, for sure. And you are the perfect, person to be that,
Absolutely.
I want to give a shout out to my boy Hot Rod, he's disabled. He's been in a wheelchair, ever since I've met him, and some way, somehow, he's made it to my performances, bro.
Hey, shout out to
he'll be right there next to the stage in his wheelchair with 2 bodyguards. Don't tell, and he's enjoying the show. So Hot Rod,
Hot Rod, shout out to you and shout out to our brother DJ Laz. He's DJ.
Yes,
you gotta know DJ Laz. Been on the radio, been handicapped, since he was born. And listen, that guy is the pimp with the limp, bro.
Hell yeah.
So it's amazing to have guys like you. And people like you guys that shine with it, man. You know what I mean? And let other people know that I'm just like you, brother. Ain't nothing fucking different about me.
Differences are awesome, man. Like you embrace your difference, whether you're a kid, an adult. I don't care. Like you have a difference. You have something that makes you you. And if you don't embrace that, you're gonna be living a lie your entire life. You'll never experience quality of life. Yeah. No car, no nothing, no accomplishment will ever make up for that peace of mind you have in your head. That communication with yourself that says like, hey, I'm worth it. I'm good enough. Like. I like who I am, regardless of what I have. It took me a long time to get that.
Yeah.
You got it, and you ain't never let motherfuckers go.
That's real. Yeah, that's for sure.
Real. Hell yeah. So Uly, right now. Oh, you gonna say something? What you gonna say?
I was gonna say it's that time of the show. You're
okay. You're right. Let's go, baby.
So listen, man. This is a big part of the show. In December, when they signed, Donald Trump signed a $2.3 trillion COVID bill. And in that bill, they had to release all UFO information after 180 days. There's 5 days left until they got to release that information. I'm a UFO believer. You know what I mean? I listen, I'm not a religious guy, but I'm spiritual. I believe in God. I feel like God and my mom's prayers have gotten me to where I'm at today. But outside of that realm, there's some weird stuff been going on. I feel like we're aliens in our own way. We think outside the box. We do things outside the box. We got to where we're at today, doing things that people don't do on a regular basis. But yourself, have you ever thought about aliens, UFOs, anything like that?
I think it's cocky and ignorant to think we're the only people here.
Hell yeah,
that's the most self-centered thing, to see the entire universe.
Well, you can't even see the entire universe.
Yeah, but we're floating in a weird sack of like Earth. Right. That's weird.
And even on Earth, we don't even know what's under the ocean. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So like you have to be smart enough to understand there has to be something else. Unless you just think we're the smartest thing that ever existed. Like, do you see people today?
Yeah.
You really think we are, especially in Florida, we are the smartest people that exist in the universe? No.
Yeah. We're the aliens ant farm, bro.
Yo, we've been following these numbers since the beginning of times. So it started at 100 and whatever. We are 5 days away.
Yeah. You know what's funny? It actually lands on the same day as my fight, which is no coincidence.
Which is 4 days away.
I might have a couple aliens watch me win this title on June 26th, man.
That is wild. You better have some UFO shirts or something.
I swear to God, it is wild. I couldn't make this shit up. When I did the days, I'm like, hold up, that lands on the same day as my fight. And I've been talking about this.
You better have an alien with like a blink, like something,
that's
some sort of like
that's
something.
Let's go.
That's a great idea, my brother, man. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. You're an amazing person. You know what I mean? Not only on the outside, on the inside as well. That's probably my eat. That's my eat.
I respect that.
That's my eat alarm. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Anything you can leave the people with before we go? Give them a freestyle positive message or something you got, in the back of your mind that you like to tell people.
Yeah, this is usually where most people would like kind of talk themselves up, but I'm going to talk about you guys.
Thank you.
What you guys are doing is so impactful, and I don't think you understand. We often chase metrics. We're like, we need more viewers, we need more likes, more engagement, we want to grow it. Maybe we need a better set, maybe we need a better camera, maybe we need a camera that doesn't shut off for 25 minutes, maybe we need something, No, maybe you just need to keep going, because that one listener could have been me when I was on the edge.
Yeah.
And this message, this specific podcast, the one you just shot, maybe maybe that's the one that stops someone from doing something detrimental to their life, hurting their entire family, and making the change in the world that we need. So please keep going.
Thank you very much. That means
bro.
the world coming from you, honestly. And we are like that, man. One thing about us is, first thing we said when we started this podcast is we got to stay consistent before anything. Yeah. So consistency is key for us. And I mean, the followers are organic, are our fans, and you know, and not fans, but people that join us here to watch this are organic. We're not chasing anything, man. You know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. We just gotta keep our head down, keep working hard, and having great guests like you, man.
Just never close your eyes to the possibilities. You know, I guess you could say,
absolutely,
don't blink.
For sure. Don't blink. He's in here just dropping them gems like that. He's in here like, what's the guy's name?
I had to. From the beginning of this podcast, I'm like, how am I going to put this in?
From the beginning, he's in here strong arming and shit like,
He's spiked there right there. Hey, everybody, man, there's been another episode of Don't Blink with Chris Ruden, man. Amazing person. Check him out ASAP. Me and the kids signing out. Wow.
We leaving? We're not leaving yet.
Oh, you know what? I can't leave yet. I gotta, shout out my sponsors.
Romero, come on.
Romero
yeah, we out here flexing.
Some warehouse services. They'll load your stuff, unpack your stuff, ship your stuff. Whatever you need in the warehouse, they got you. Arancibia Bail Bonds. If you find yourself in the mix, call Arancibia Bail Bonds.
Yeah.
They got the get out of jail card. Not the one from Monopoly, because that ain't free. You're gonna have to pay them. You gotta pay to play, but they'll get you out of jail. And we got some dope Monster gear for you right here.
Hell yeah.
Chris
Ruden,
man.
Lace that up for you right there.
Thank you, brother, for coming through, man. You've been amazing, for real.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Don't blink. You already know what it is.
I think me and Two Nights got something great going on. We got some great guests coming up. It's gonna be dope. We got some dope people that already signed up to do it with us, which is great. A lot of people show us love, and it's because we love them back for sure.